Today's video is sponsored by OneFootball. Get all the latest updates from the Premier League and hundreds of other top fixtures from around the world, as well as the latest scores, videos, fixtures, stats, and more for everything related to football. Link is in the description. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So of course it is Sunday, and I'm doing another one of these, well, what should we call it? I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a name for something where I sit down and sort of talk about football. What I want to do is basically every single Sunday put out a video that morning in the US. If you're in other places, obviously it'll be a different time, but talk about football on a Sunday morning for you guys to listen to my thoughts, opinions about news and all that fun stuff. And I thought, you know what, it might be interesting. Some of you said you liked some of these videos, so why not? I mean, you can listen to me while you're on your way in your car, you're cooking breakfast, you're playing some games, I don't know. Whatever you guys are doing, maybe you want to listen to me ramble on for a little bit. So, let's talk about the Premier League, and let's talk mainly today about Manchester United, because I'm a Man United fan, and a lot has happened over the last week. So, if we recap and rewind a week ago, I sat down and I was infuriated, it's a pretty big word, by the performance of Manchester United against Liverpool. I mean, it was crap. We know it was. It was pathetic. I mean, Man United just consistently were looking poor. A day later, and Mourinho got the boot, so I think someone must have watched my video. Bit of, momentum there for me to get Mourinho fired. But look, I didn't want to see him get sacked. I didn't want to see him get fired. Honestly, at the beginning of all this, I didn't know, I was 50-50, probably on the lesser side of things about Mourinho. I just didn't think he would suit Manchester United. Turns out he didn't. I mean, simple as that, he didn't. So, they fired him. In came Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a caretaking manager. Now, let's first of all, before we get into the match yesterday, talk about the results from around the league. On Saturday, the Sunday games won't have been played while I'm recording this, but we had some matches. So Wolves played Liverpool on Friday, and Liverpool won again, 2-0. Continue to win games, don't they? Still undefeated in the league this season. That's impressive. Very, very impressive. Arsenal beat Burnley, so obviously they kept the pressure going there. We had Huddersfield losing to Southampton. A good result for Southampton. Pushes them a little bit further away from the relegation zone. Bournemouth beating Brighton. Disappointment there for Brighton because they are down at the bottom. The big result, Man City losing to Crystal Palace. We'll briefly talk about that, and possibly one of the, if not, goals of the season from Andy Townsend. What a strike. I mean, he hit this thing from about 35 yards, and it was a laser beam zoop, right into the top corner. You could have had 3 goalies in goal. I don't think you would have saved it. Unbelievable. Newcastle 0, Fulham 0. Bit of a stalemate right there. Chelsea also losing as well to Leicester City by 1-0. I mean, look at Chelsea there. They go ahead and beat Man City, then they lose at home to Leicester, who haven't really looked that great this season. West Ham 0, Watford 2. Good result there for Watford, but West Ham still struggling. The big one there, Cardiff 1, Manchester United 5. 5! Man United scored 5 goals, ladies and gentlemen. When was the last time that ever happened? And that was the final match, and we have Everton and Tottenham coming today. So, let's quickly talk about, before we get to Man United, let's talk about the bigger matches around the globe here. So if we talk about this Man City Crystal Palace matchup, I'd love to show you guys the highlights. Unfortunately, I will get a copyright strike. Actually, if you guys follow me on Twitter, before we do get into this, I got another... every time I watch Man United, I put out like snippets of goals, right? With my phone, it's crap quality. I put them on there. I keep getting copyright hits on them. And my account actually got locked yesterday because I put up like 3 videos, and they said if I do it again, my account's going to be suspended. So, yeah, I probably won't be doing that again. So that's a little tip. Don't put any kind of Premier League, even slight snippets, 20-25 second videos on Twitter. They don't like it. So, Man City played Crystal Palace. Man City actually took the lead, all right? Gundogan scored 27 minutes. Crystal Palace came back. They scored 3 on the bounce. 2 within the space of 2 minutes. There was the Andy Townsend ridiculous goal. Then they scored a penalty. Kevin De Bruyne, back in the squad, back fit, scored, but it wasn't enough. But you look at the stats, and I put something out on Twitter about it as well, and said this is like playing PES 2019 on Legend, where they have 3 attempts on target, they score them all, and you lose. I mean, look at Man City. 19 attempts, only 5 on target though. But still, 79% possession. 733 passes. That's insane. And they still lost to Crystal Palace. That's madness. I mean, that's pretty good pass accuracy as well. 88%. And there's obviously a look at the table now. They find themselves 4 points behind Liverpool, which I didn't think would happen. I mean, how many of you thought at this stage of the season, it's coming towards the end of December, the new year, there's going to be transfers obviously up and about come January. Who thought Man City now would be 4 points behind Liverpool? I mean, there's still a lot to play. Don't get me wrong, Man City have scored 50 goals already. Less than half the games played, 50 goals. Mad. Still have the better goal difference, but they've lost 2 matches, which is surprising, really. Then you got Tottenham, bit of a gap, 5 points. And Chelsea, Arsenal, obviously Man United still a fair ways away. But there we go. That was that match. Very surprising, just the statistics of that game. Crystal Palace just nipped them and managed to steal the show. Then we had Chelsea against Leicester City. Another match that was kind of almost the same, wasn't it? Where 17 attempts, 5 on target. Leicester having 8 attempts, 3 on target, only 28% possession. 264 passes compared to 692, and still couldn't score the equalising goal, losing to Leicester. I mean, you look at Leicester City, 9th. Actually, I thought they were worse than that, so maybe not. I apologise. I thought they were actually down there for some reason in 15th. Got it wrong. So yeah, they're lying 9th. All right, it was a good result for them. It's pushed them up quite a bit. But yeah, they needed that win to really get them, closer away from that relegation spot. I mean, the bottom of the table there, Fulham, it's been tough. Huddersfield struggling, Burnley poor. Surprising for Burnley, isn't it? Where did they finish last season? 7th or 6th? Something really quite good. Southampton have picked up a bit of momentum as well. But overall, yeah, it's kind of pretty 14th down to 20th. It was a big win for Crystal Palace because that alone gave them a little bit of breathing room from the rest of them. Alright, so let's get to the meat and bones of this. Manchester United against Cardiff City. And man, how joyful was it to watch Manchester United? And if you're a fan of United, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not, maybe you're not going to care as much. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, they only played Cardiff. Well, who cares who they played? I don't really care who they played. At the end of the day, Man United are Man United this season. And they haven't come close in the last, months and months and months to scoring or even attempting to score 5 goals because they could have scored more. Rashford had one saved, that close. It really wasn't a penalty. I don't think it was a penalty against Rashford. I think it clipped him here. I think it was more of the shoulder than the bicep. They were saying it was the bicep. I think it was more here. It doesn't matter. I mean, they finished 5-1, 5-0, whatever. But, I mean, it could have been more. But let's have a look at these stats. For once, you look at them and you say, yes. Yes. Man United deserved it. 17 attempts, 9 on target. Crystal Palace had 9 attempts, 3 on target. But 75% possession. They had 639 passes. I don't think they've had anywhere near that all season at all. The pass accuracy, 86%. Pretty good as well. And, you look at the table. Yeah, they're still, 8 points behind Arsenal. But they needed that win today. No question. Just to show... it was one of those games that it showed how bad Mourinho really was for this team. Because... you watched it from the get-go, and this is my opinion about this whole matter in hand. Solskjaer's come in. Okay, if you've seen the babyface legend, he has been positive. There's been good vibes around the camp. The press conferences have been positive, positive, positive. There's been no negativity like Mourinho, who sits there. You know, no, it's not. It's upbeat. It's positivity. It's getting the team. If the team do watch it, they're thinking, yes, you know, we've got a chance to win this. We've got some momentum, some confidence. I guarantee you, you know, Solskjaer hasn't even had a training session with United pretty much all week. All he done is he gone in there and he said to the boys, and this is what he said in his post-match interview. You know, he said, go and play, have some freedom, and play the old United way. Attack, attack, attack. That is the old way of United. And the players know Manchester United inside out. You know, they are the biggest club in the world. They still are for me. You know, when it comes to fan base, when it comes to this, that, and the other, they are still massively bigger than anyone else because they're Manchester United. Past or not, they still are huge, and there's expectations. It's as simple as that. They've got pressure on them, the players, yes. Big expectations, yes, but you want them to play the Manchester United way. You don't change a team's formula, you know, just because a new manager came in. And this was the problem with Mourinho. He came in, and what did he offer to Man United? Nothing. It was defensive. This is another thing, all right? This is another thing that I saw yesterday, which I hadn't seen as well. First of all, Lindelof has actually been pretty solid this season. He's a player that I was a little bit on the ropes about, but the Swede has really quite impressed me with what he's done. And yesterday, Lindelof, the amount of times he got the ball and he didn't just say, all right, I'm going to just give this to Pogba, you know, give it to Herrera, Luke Shaw. I'm going to get the ball myself. I'm going to run up the field a little bit. I'm going to create some space and I'm going to lay it off. I'm going to play a ball through the middle. He actually nearly set up Rashford for a splitting pass, a great ball as well. You know, the first time all season I've seen Lindelof not care about taking a gamble and pushing forward. That would have all been in the mind because Mourinho would have said to Lindelof or any of the centre-backs, don't take any gambles, just get the ball and play it. Get the ball and play it. Not a good idea. Because if you watch Man City, if you watch Liverpool, the likes of Van Dijk, the likes of Kompany when he's playing, Otamendi, they get the ball down. If they've got some space, they bring it forward. Why? Because it creates space for you. It means that the opposition have to now make another decision because they don't want to come and close that centre-back down. Yes, you're taking a bit of a gamble bringing it forward. But if a centre-back's composed and he knows what he's doing, he can actually create more space for other players by bringing it out of the back. We saw that yesterday with Manchester United. It was just a completely different team. Pogba actually looked like he was worth the money. You know, he didn't give the ball away time and time and time again. He was composed. He was literally running wherever he wanted. Do what you want, Pogba. You paid the money to do it. You've got the quality. He's a big guy, Pogba. Very hard to get him off the ball. It's when his confidence goes down, that's when he plays horrendously. That's what we've seen, you know, up until this point. He gets slagged off. Isn't he been playing as well? What kind of confidence is that when you literally just stop playing your best players? Because it baffles me even more now. How bad this team was with Mourinho. I know it. Let's not get carried away. All right, Ricky, let's get grounded here. It's one game, okay? It is only one game. And generally, teams always play better when the manager's been fired. There's almost like a sense of relief amongst the team. Okay? But the way they played, if they can play like this, you know, week in, week out. And this was away from home, by the way, where normally Man United are horrendous. Not good. Just defend. But yesterday, they just had a sense of urgency about them. A prime example, okay? The third goal from Martial. Wow, what a move. If you haven't seen the third goal alone, just check it out. Martial, I think, was he playing as a left... Was he playing as a winger? I don't know if he was playing up top or on the wing. But Martial was all over the place because he, not in a bad sense, in a good sense, he wanted the ball. If he was out wide, he'd attack players. If he was down the middle, he would attack players. Martial, literally Solskjaer probably said, Martial, you know what? Do what you do best, mate. Get the ball, run at players, cause them issues. No one likes a player running at you. Do it. And you'll have options. You'll have Rashford making runs forward. Pogba will be inside. Lingard's there for you. That's what he did. Watch that third goal. It was sensational. I wish I could put a clip up of it. It was literally one ball through the middle. Ticker, ticker, ticker. Bang. In the back. It was just fantastic. I was screaming because it was so nice to see United score an actual team goal. I mean, the first goal was a free kick by Rashford. Yes, it was a good goal though. Hit it well. The second Herrera one, hit it from distance, which is kind of funny because if you see some of the snippets of Solskjaer telling all the youngsters, shoot from 18, 20 yards. How are you going to score if you don't shoot? Very true. That's why United had 17 attempts yesterday, because they actually realised if you have a shot, it might go in. And that's what Herrera did. Hit it from 30 yards, 25, took a deflection. Who cares? It went in the back of the net. It was just so nice. It was such a relief, refreshing football from Manchester United. And I'm excited to see how they do now with Solskjaer, because he's just positive. There's nothing negative about this guy. Whether he'll stay or not, probably not. I mean, I still think, the Tottenham manager, Maurizio, has to be the big number one choice. Are they going to get him from Tottenham? I mean, they're going to have to pay the big bucks to do it. But he would be a dream manager for Manchester United. He never has any problems. You know, he gets on with it. He gets his team playing well. It's positive. It's energy. Tottenham have come a long way. And if they lose Maurizio, they will have massive problems. I think a lot of the key players will leave. But then again, it's Manchester United. There's only a handful of people that will ever get to manage the likes of a Manchester United. Because they do have the funds, the fans, the stadium, the atmosphere. It's all there. It's just gone out the window the last couple of years because of Mourinho and his style of play. But for me, yesterday was just fantastic. Great team. Great play. He picked a decent lineup. A couple of changes that were needed. I mean, obviously Pogba started, Martial started. We still have to wait to see. This is the thing now. I'm actually quite intrigued. Is Alexis Sanchez now going to start playing? He may very well. He may, because I think he's going to have a relief that Mourinho's gone. I honestly think everyone is happy he's gone, because he just seemed toxic to all those players. No freedom at all. I don't know if he was trying to sabotage Man United or what he was doing, but Mourinho, if you're going to come back as a manager, you have to change your mindset and you have to change tactically how you approach games, because otherwise you will not manage another team. And if you do, it's going to be some really defensive lower team. No one's going to want him. So I'm pleasantly surprised now to see how Alexis, when he comes back in January, is going to play at Man United. He could be a totally different player. Lukaku. I mean, it's not going to help his touch, is it? Lukaku's Lukaku, but maybe there'll be, a little bit of weight off his shoulders. I don't know. I'm very intrigued now over the next couple of weeks how Man United are going to transition. Are they going to play the same style that they played against Cardiff? Yes, it was only Cardiff, but still, a win's a win. They're playing at home next week, so back at Old Trafford, see how they do then. But yeah, for the first game, to score 5 goals, to look lively, to look up for the match, scoring the goals they scored, it looked great. And very, very pleased with the performance by the lads. So let me know your opinions below. Were you excited to see United play? They're still a long way off 4th, and of course they are. I mean, you look at the table, as we say, they're still 8 points behind Arsenal. But if they can get a little bit of momentum and see how they play, then, we never know. And when we look at the matches coming up real quickly, they've got Huddersfield. Now, Huddersfield are struggling, so that's certainly a match that you fancy them to get something out of. Elsewhere, nothing really sort of comes out at me. I mean, Liverpool, Newcastle, you fancy Liverpool there. I mean, they've just been, who's going to stop Liverpool at this point? People are genuinely scared to face Liverpool in the Champions League. It's nuts. But then on the 29th of December, there is a big game there with Liverpool taking on Arsenal. That's going to be a big match. Man United face Bournemouth, Tottenham against Wolves, And I believe we have Liverpool coming up against Man City at some point. I'm not quite sure when. We got Man United facing Tottenham at the start of the year. So, yeah, there are some big games to come. But Man United have a couple of easier matches. Huddersfield, I think Bournemouth, as we say, and Newcastle. They win those 3 before they take on Tottenham. Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to see. Anyway, that is, I think, how we're going to wrap it up for today. We'll keep it short and sweet. But next week, I want to really just sit down and talk about the news of sort of what's happening. So we could even go to the main page and come up with the top stories, talk about those. I want to have sort of a bit of a talking show, podcast type show, and you know, just something for you guys to listen to on Sundays. I think it's nice to talk about something different. Well, it's not different because I love football and my channel's about football, but you know, it takes it away from playing PES all the time, and we talk about the real world, the teams that playing, and you know, the consensus of what's happening around the league. Anyway, hope you guys did enjoy it. We'll be back very, very shortly. Hope you guys do have a good weekend, or had a good weekend. Christmas only a couple of days away, so I hope you guys have got your presents ready and wrapped nicely for all your family and friends. But until next time, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace? It's a new one. Till next time, take care.